I know I haven't really talked much about the procedure, but as you can see, I've just removed, and both ears are very large, occluding skin plug, and I'm just peeling around the edge. This is their left ear. This is the worst ear out of the two. And actually, I performed this first when the patient arrived, but for the purposes of this video, I'm showing it second. This was more challenging than the first, and I'm not going to be able to remove every little last speck of skin. There will be some skin still remaining around medially. I just couldn't get access. The ear was really swollen. It may not look swollen when I'm in there, but I'm having to, so the bit that you yourselves can't see on the video is me externally, how I'm having to stretch the ear open. It's not visible. If I had an external camera, which I've previously done in the past, and I might just do it again so you can see what I'm doing on the outside, I'm using the endoscope almost like a crowbar. I'm stretching this patient's ear as wide as possible to allow me to insert the instrument. If I didn't stretch the ear open, like in the manner I am, I wouldn't be able to get the instrument in. And because it is swollen, particularly at the entrance, it reduces the freedom of movement with the instrument. So I'm more limited in what I can do. So then I have to resort to bending the tip of the fine end. I'm using the fine end sucker at the moment. And by bending it, I'm kind of creating my own angles. But if you overbend it, then the opposite side of the suction probe that I've bent, it protrudes in the opposite direction. And we've got to be careful that when we're then manipulating the wax like we are now, the opposite end where the kink is in the tube is not going to make contact. You can see I'm pulling it down, and I've just got to be wary that the sucker's not going to hit the opposite ear canal wall. You can see the eardrum, there is a bit of skin here. I think I'm going to leave a bit now. Well, I'm sure I'm going to get a bit more out because the videos, I'm looking at the time and there's another, still about 4 minutes to play. So I'm just going to do as much as I can. When you're removing earwax or dead skin from the ear, if you're like myself, a right-handed person, I'm holding the instrument in my right hand, my dominant hand, because that's where all the precision is, because the ear cavity is less than a centimetre in circumference, and in some parts even narrower, and it's bends and kinks in there. You got the eardrum about 2.5, 3 centimetres into the ear canal. That can easily be perforated, and you've got the bony part of the ear canal, the inner teeth edge, which is very, very sensitive. Unless you're ambidextrous, you want to be doing this with your dominant hand for sure, because you need that fine motor control and precision. So I'm holding the instrument in my right hand. The endoscope, the iClearscope, I'm holding in my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand. Now, of course, you still need good hand coordination with that, but it's the right hand for me, which is the critical one, because you can see I need full control there. So when you're a right-handed specialist performing the left ear and you're trying to remove wax on the left-hand side of the ear canal, the anterior canal wall, especially if it's bendy, that's the most challenging part. Because your hands almost have to go, they don't cross over, but at a point when you insert an instrument, they do, and then you get it back, you realign it, and it is quite tricky skill. And the narrower the ear, the bendy the ear, the more difficult it is. So I'm just on the roof of the ear canal there. You can see I've managed to get access. I'm pulling this down, but as I'm pulling it down, I've got to be in full control of the sucker, because as you're pulling and teasing, you can overexert pressure on the suction tube, and it can fly off and make contact with other parts of the ear, which we don't want. This is really tricky. This is the inferior recess. There's a thick layer of skin. I'm just working at it, teasing it slowly away.